Hello class, this is Mr. Weckesser, and today we're going to talk about solving inequalities. Inequalities are statements just like equations, but equations have an equal sign. So equations have an equal sign. Inequalities have signs that make them not equal, which means this in part is not. So you have a less than sign, like x is less than 4. You have an x is less than or equal to 4. You also can do greater than. So y is greater than 4, or y is greater than or equal to 4. And so I always remember this because the little arrow points to the smaller number. And sometimes people remember this from an alligator or a Pac-Man. Pac-Man eats the bigger number. So that was something you learned probably in 2nd and 3rd grade. But we're going to talk about solving them now. So let's talk about this. Write an I if the math sentence is an inequality. E if it's an equation. Remember, inequality has less than and greater than signs. So this is I. This is I. This is I because it's not equal to. And we didn't talk about this before, but you can put these up here with this inequality statements. And this looks like no, not equal to. So they're not equal to each other at all. And this one's an equation. Number 2, complete each sentence with a less than or greater than or equal to. So this is going to be greater than that. If you divide 9 divided by 2, you get 4 1/2. So 4 1/2 is bigger than 4. Remember, you can solve this, any kind of fraction, by dividing your calculator. Now you just have to distribute this. So 2 plus 3 is 5. So 5 times 5 is 25. 25 is less than 27. So the arrow goes that way. This is interesting because you have 0.6 repeating and you have 2/3. 2/3, if you divide in your calculator, you get 0.6 repeating. So they're equal to each other. Number 5, -6 and 4. -6 is less than 4. So if you do a number line for any of these, you can figure out that one is smaller than the other just by looking at a number line and thinking, oh, the smaller number is that way. So the arrow points to the smaller number. And you could do this for all of them if you wanted to. Okay, compound. Inequality is less than or greater than. So sometimes you have a compound inequality and you have x is less than 7 or x is greater than or equal to 5. And this is actually x is less than or equal to 7. So a compound inequality is again defined as more than 1. So definition, a compound is made up of separate parts. So separate parts. So 2. Usually 2. 2 or more simple inequalities joined by the words and or. That's the key thing. And means both, or means not both. We'll show some examples in a second. A student uses the word compound in 3 different sentences. Place a check mark next to a sentence that is used correctly. Place an X that is not used correctly. So in chemistry class, we learn about various chemical compounds correctly. A compound inequality contains more than one inequality symbol. Correct. To simplify an expression, you can compound like terms. No. I think you're supposed to use the word simplify there. So this is not used correctly. You can simplify like terms or combine like terms. Okay, write an inequality for each verbal description. X is at most 25. So x is going to be less than or equal to 25. It's at most. X is not equal to 25. So x, we used this before, not equal to 25. Number 9, x is greater than 25. And number 10, x is less than 25. Any questions on the front page? Come talk to Mr. Weckesser right now if you have a question. All right, let's do some problems, practice problems. What inequality represents a sentence? The quotient of a number and 3 is no more than 15. Great question here. So to solve this, you have to understand what the word quotient means. What does the word quotient mean? It means a division, answer to division problem, and a number. A number is just going to be x or y or n. So a quotient of a number and 3. So that's going to look like this. X divided by 3 is no more than 15. So less than or equal to 15. That's what I'm going to say without even looking at the multiple choice. Right? Circle the expression that represents the phrase, the quotient of a number and 3. So I'm going to say it's going to be this one right here. Oh, sorry about that little break there. Someone come to my door. So let's keep on going here. The symbol represents the phrase no more than. So no more than, we're going to do this right here. It's pointing to the number or the letter that's no more than the other one. Now write the inequality. And so I wrote it above. I think I did it correctly. N divided by 3 is no more than or less than 15. Whatever you want to say. So let's do problem number 2. What is the solution of negative 2 quantity x plus 9 plus 5 greater than or equal to 3? Graph the solution. So when it says graph, we're going to do on a number line. So right there. So let's write this first. So I actually wrote it all out for you, not in words like the last one, which makes it a lot easier. First thing we're going to do, we're going to distribute before we write the whole thing down to make it easier for ourselves. So negative 2 times x is negative 2x. Negative 2 times 9, remember you can use a calculator for these, is negative 18. Then we're going to bring everything else straight down. Plus 5 is greater than or equal to 3. Now we're going to combine like terms. These two can be combined. So negative 2x minus 13, because negative 18 plus 5, again, use your calculator, is equal to 3. Okay. So the next step is, what we're going to do next is, we're going to add 13 to each side, right? And we get negative 2x is greater than, and this cross off, remember that. 3 plus 13 is 16. Now we're going to get rid of the negative 2 by dividing by 2 on each side. And these are gone. So what we have left is x is greater than or equal to negative 8. But wait up, here's a rule, right? When you divide by a negative, you have to switch the sign. So this sign becomes switched. It's x is less than or equal to negative 8. And that's really the only rule you have to worry about. Whenever you divide across an inequality, across the inequality here to the other side, by a negative, you have to change it to the opposite, flip the inequality. All right, any questions so far? I'm going to pause right now, and I'll talk to you a little bit.